must be living under a rock if you haven't yet heard of Skate Story. This may be one of the biggest indie releases of the year, and it just got a new demo. So now everyone can try the game for themselves ahead of the December launch. Having interviewed Sam Eng, the developer of Skate Story, at PAX East in 2020, we are so excited that this game is only 1 month away. And since the demo is out now, I wanted to run through for you, the people watching, but also as a refresher for myself, some of the coolest features of the game and just some of the thoughts I have about Skate Story as it's been developing. But before we get into this, I just want to do a quick reminder for everyone to please like, comment, subscribe on the video. It greatly helps out the channel. Alright, let's do it. Skate Story is an indie skateboarding game that has its control system set up similar to that of the EA skate games, but tonally, it's much different than any other skateboarding game out there. I've already mentioned that we interviewed the developer 5 years ago, but believe me when I tell you that Toostupidgamerz has been closely watching the development of this title over all of that time. One of the standout parts of Skate Story, for me personally, is that it has really good flow. When the player character is cruising around, the way that the camera setup is just perfect. The game mechanics, the skateboard physics, they function exactly how they should. Sam Eng was really able to capture the exhilarated feel of skating down a hill or over various different obstacles. Back to the direction, again, Skate Story features a pretty fresh take on the idea of making a skateboarding game. Its unique concept is that your unnamed, glass-based character has to skate through several levels of the underworld. Obviously, any kind of falling over would result in them shattering into a million pieces. The game world definitely hits more of a, I'd call it like an aesthetic vagueness and an overall mellow vibe, while also being less about hitting high score combos or combating a session timer to focus more on your character's journey. So think Tony Hawk, but more like, well, Journey. It also has really good sound design too. I would describe the sound of skating in Skate Story like you took a skater and you put him in a vacuum. There's a lot of echo and reverb. So any sound effects, any slides, grinds, flips, anytime the board lands and hits the floor, those sounds are going to be bombarding all over the empty space. To go with that, there's also plenty of cool ambient sound in the background as well. And I have to note, since the last time I got a chance to play Skate Story, there is now a greater emphasis on the production soundtrack too. So they added very experimental genre, indie rock type of music. I also noticed for some of those more intense combat sections, the music gets boosted so that the player can really get into the zone. I will also say, while I'm addressing things that to me have changed or I don't remember them as well from the last time I got a chance to have some hands-on time with Skate Story, the visuals all look great and they have a really cool style. However, there were times in the demo where the visuals get so intentionally processed that it starts to get hard to tell what you're looking at. In moments like this, honestly, I would rather have less or no effect just to be able to clearly see what is happening. Instead, those moments just get kind of visually too distorted. I think also for the story, players should have to be prepared to do a little bit of exploring. And specifically what I'm thinking of is that when you interact with certain objects or NPCs in this game, they might not give you great hints. Not always. It might be one of those frustrating puzzle adventure game kind of things where you're trying to figure out the answer, but nothing in the game world is really helping you. But with enough time, you should be able to find the object that you have to interact with so that you can proceed. And one more thing about the controls, which I think from the very first time that I played this, Skate Story's control mechanics have certainly evolved over the process of this 5 years, which is understandable. And while as a skateboarding game is concerned, I'm not the biggest fan of the way that the tricks work, it is simple. I think a wider audience can appreciate the way tricking works in this game because they might find it works closely to other adventure games they're familiar with. It actually reminds me a little of utilizing your special abilities in the Yeast games, where you have to hold a specific combination of buttons to indicate which trick you want, and then hit jump to perform the trick rather than a plain ollie. I would say that it wasn't initially the most intuitive way for tricks in a skateboarding game like this to work, but with a little bit of time, it became quite simple. And I also do kind of appreciate the fact that when I try to do a trick, I don't have to worry about it being perfect timing. There is a little indicator that comes up to guide your timing of a trick, but that only affects how many points you get from the trick, not whether or not you will land it or bail. The demo gives a decent amount of opportunity for players to explore the game world and mechanics, so I do highly recommend everyone go check it out and keep this game on your radar. It seems to be coming to every major platform. No doubt, I'm sure thanks to the partnership with legendary publishing studio Devolver Digital, which is going to make this a match made in heaven, so you don't want to miss this one. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I have no more words for how excited I am to know that Skate Story is finally almost here. If you want to find out more, definitely go check out Devolver Digital, Samang. You can wishlist the game on Steam. And yeah, be ready for December. It's coming. So if you enjoyed this video, I hope you did. Please be sure to leave us a like, comment down below. What did you think? Are you looking forward to this game? And don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribing helps the channel out. We greatly appreciate it. I'm Mash the Stampede. Once again, for Toostupidgamerz, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.